and welcome. In this week's vlog we're going to take you back to the day we moved onto the boat back in September 2020. 2021. We've lost a year.
So we'll be showing you how we sorted out all of our storage options, all the things we needed to buy for the boat, and then fast forward to the day when we actually unplugged and left the marina, and our first day cruising up to our first night.
Yes.
With the excitement of what happened at our first lock, our very first lock.
Yeah, and we didn't want to buy what the guy was selling at the lock, did we?
Yeah.
That was basically it.
So stay
anyway.
tuned and we'll fill you in on that later.
All right, take care. Cheers.
If you've seen our launch day video, you'll know that we had the boat put in the water at Mercia Marina near Burton-on-Trent. We took a very short familiarisation cruise out and back, and then found our berth that would be our home for the next 2 weeks. We showed the dogs their new home and then started to bring everything aboard. One of the first things we had to do was make sure the boat was secure for the dogs. This was just a temporary solution until we had the crash cover and pram hood fitted to the front and back of the boat. And the dogs quickly found their favourite spots to hang out. Next job was to make sure the toilet was working and that the cassette was fitted correctly. No one warned us how hard it was going to be to put on a king-size duvet cover in such a small space. And we figured out how to extend our crossover bed. We got Pete's home office up and running, and we bought a new printer that we made sure would fit under the dinette seat. We had the builder add an extra socket to plug in the printer. Before we left Texas, we ordered a sofa bed from the Sofa Bed Barn Company. They make sofa beds that fit onto narrowboats as they come in 4 parts. And thankfully it fit perfectly. And Poppy and Hamish made themselves at home. We started to find homes for everything and we're really happy with the amount of storage space that was built into the boat. And then we went on the hunt for other storage containers that were the right size to fit our spaces, to make everything a little bit more organised. And Pete was back in his happy place buying some wood to sort out this mess and build some shelves for the back cupboard. We'd left our Denby dinner service with our children in America and made a trip to the Denby outlet shop at the Denby Pottery Village. Pete's an avid cook, so he was really excited to find all sorts of kitchen equipment at the Denby outlet. We just had to find space for it all back on the boat. Next was a trip to the garden centre to find some planters and flowers for some boxes for the roof of our boat. And we bought a folding bike to help us move the car between cruising points. And not forgetting Jasper, Hamish and Poppy, we ordered them some life jackets. Jasper wasn't very happy with his and didn't want to be in the photo. We took them out for their very first cruise just to see how they got on. And as we predicted, Poppy absolutely loved it and just wanted to sit up the front all the time, keeping an eye out. The boys were happy just to lie in the well deck. But then Jasper got a little bit braver and wanted to see where we were going as well. The last few days before we left the marina, we spent adding extra security to the boat with some heavy duty locks and extra bolts. The templates for our pram hood and crash cover had been made while our boat was still in the workshop, and the covers were fitted just before we left the marina. They've added so much more usable space to the boat. And we made sure we had extra sections to keep the dogs safe on board. And now we're all ready, it was time to leave the beautiful Mercia Marina. And honestly, the only thing that we didn't like about the place was having a mooring at the end of a pontoon, which was a great long walk to take the dogs on and off to do their business. If we stay there again, we'll know to ask for a berth a little bit close to the bank to make it a bit easier for the dogs. This was our last evening and we were really excited to wake up the next morning for our new adventure. The next morning we filled it with water, emptied the toilet and got on our way. We left our berth that had been home for 2 weeks and headed out of the marina. So back to the story of our very first lock that we mentioned at the beginning of this video. We actually don't have any footage of us doing that lock because we're too busy concentrating, plus back then at the beginning of our journey we hadn't even decided to have a YouTube channel. So as we approached Dallow Lock on the edge of Burton-on-Trent, we'd seen some guy walking up and down who just looked out of place on the towpath. And then as we got to the lock landing, somebody on a bike turned up that he was obviously waiting for. So we waited a while for them to do their deal, and then there were obviously more customers that he was waiting for. So we just let everybody finish and before we started on our way again. And then Pete was really happy to see the Marston's Brewery sign. After an exciting first day's cruising, we finally stopped for the night just before Branston Lock. Join us next time as we keep heading south on the Trent and Mersey.